everybody. It is Foxo 22. And BTW, I'm giving a warning. Wait. Okay, yeah. Warning. This fanfiction is incredibly gory and may ruin your appreciation of a certain MLP character, as well as particular baked goods. Read at own risk. The air was warm, the sun was shining, and every pony in Ponyville was having a glorious day. The town square was bustling and crowded, and busy ponies filled the streets. All the pony folk seemed to have somewhere specific to be, all except Rainbow Dash. Her place was in the sky. She tore freely through the air, spinning one way and the next, buzzing the treetops and racing the wind. The blue Pegasus swooped over a schoolyard, much to the delight of the children, then climbed several hundred feet and dove streaking downward. As fast as she could, seconds before hitting the ground, her wings flew open and pulled back up into the clear blue sky. Rainbow felt alive. Suddenly, Dash remembered that she had somewhere to be. She was supposed to meet with Pinkie Pie in 5 minutes. Dash had gotten so caught up in her exercises that she nearly forgotten that Pinkie Pie had asked her to meet her at Sugar Cube Corner at 3. Pinkie hadn't said why or what they'd be doing, but Dash really wanted to go. She was so engaged with her stunts that she thought about blowing off Pinkie to continue flying, but Dash's conscience got the better of her. She knew that it would hurt Pinkie's feelings after all. Pinkie had said it was going to be something special, just for the two of them. Dash considered it and thought, why not? What did she have to lose? Heck, it might be more pranking. Pinkie might have found a bunch more fun stuff to pull on folks. They had so much fun last time. Dash kicked into overdrive up for lost time and sped to her appointment. When Dash walked into the store, she was immediately greeted by her host, who was bouncing in excitement.
Yay, you're here! I've been waiting all day, said the jumping pony. Sorry I'm a little late, Pinkie. I was doing my afternoon exercises and lost track of time.
Dash apologized. Pinkie giggled and responded in a gleefully treasuring tone.
Oh, that's okay. You're here now. What's a few more minutes? I've been so excited thinking about all the fun stuff we're going to do. I can't read this. I haven't stopped bouncing since I woke up. I almost forgot to breathe. I've been so happy.
Dash gave a slightly uncomfortable laugh. She had always appreciated Pinkie Pie's friendly, outgoing way of life, but Pinkie's overabundant enthusiasm almost creeped her out. Dash maintained a polite expression. However, if Pinkie Pie was this worked up when she had plans, must be good.
So, are you ready to get started, Rainbow Dash? I've got everything all ready,
the pink pony said. Dash psyched herself. You betcha, Pinkie! So what you got planned? You gonna prank somebody? I got a couple of good ones I've been thinking about. Or maybe you've got some stunts you want me to try? Or perhaps making cupcakes? The Pinkie happily announced. Baking? Dash was disappointed. Pinkie, you know I'm not good at baking. Remember last time?
Oh, that's not a problem at all. I only need your help making them. I'll be doing most of the work,
Pinkie explained. Dash thought about it for a second. Well, alright, I guess that's okay. What exactly do you need me to do?
That's the spirit. Here you go.
Pinkie handed Dash a cupcake. I thought I was helping you bake.
You will be. I made this one just before you got here. So is this like taste testing or something? Sorta,
Pinkie said. Dash shrugged and popped the pastry in her mouth. I would have done the same. Chewed a bit and swallowed. Not bad. Okay, now what?
Now,
Pinkie informed her,
you take a nap.
Puzzled, Dash opened her mouth, and felt instantly lightheaded. A wave of dizziness washed over her. The world spun, and seconds later she collapsed to the floor. When Dash regained consciousness, she found herself in a dark room. She tried to shake her head, but found that a taut leather strap held it firmly in place. She struggled to move, but braces around her chest and limbs glued her to a rack formed from a series of sturdy planks which spread her legs wide apart. Dash's wings were the only part of her that were not tied down. They fluttered frantically. Crap, I lost my place. Yitty, 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 yitty. Fluttered frantically while she struggled to escape. As she writhed, Pinky jumped in suddenly into her line of sight.
Goody, you're awake. Now we can get started,
Pinky said gleefully. She bounded into the darkness and quickly reappeared, pushing a small cart over with a claw. Claw. Pinky, what's going on? I can't move, Dash said urgently.
Well, duh, that's because you're tied down,
chided Pinky.
That's why you can't move. I didn't think you'd need to be told that. But why? I thought you said it was going to help you make cupcakes. You are helping. You see, I ran out of a special ingredient, and I need you to get more.
Special ingredient? Dash was now breathing heavily and turned to panic. What special ingredient?
You silly!
Dash's eyes widened. Her face contorted in fear, and she started to wait. Did I just read that whole thing without it recording, or is it recorded? Okay. I thought it was recording. Dash's eyes widened. Her face contorted in fear. Then she started to laugh and said, in a voice bordering on hysteria, "Woo! You really got me, Pinkie Pie. I mean, tricking me into thinking I'm gonna get made into a cupcake? I gotta tell you, this is the best prank yet. You win. You're the best." Pinkie only giggled even more.
Aw, thanks, Dash. I haven't done any pranks today, so I can't accept your praise.
Dash was startling again. Pinkie, come on. This isn't funny.
Then why were you laughing?
Before Dash could answer, Pinkie grabbed the cloth and whipped it off the cart. On the cart was a tray containing various sharp medical tools and knives, carefully organized and wickedly sharp, as a large medical bag. Dash was now in full panic mode. She was starting to hyperventilate. Her mind raced as she tried to reason with the pink pony. You can't do this, Pinkie. I'm your friend.
I know you are, and that's why I'm so happy that I've got you here. We get to share your last moments together, just you and me.
Pinkie was skipping again. But other ponies will wonder where I am. When the clouds get piled up, they'll come looking for me and you'll get found out.
Oh, Dash, don't worry. There are plenty of Pegasus ponies to take care of a few clouds. And besides, no one will find out. I mean, how long do you think I've been doing this?
And with that ominous statement, the lights suddenly came to life and revealed the rest of the room. Oh no! Dash reeled in horror and the image presented to her. The room was decorated with a typical but twisted Pinkie Pie flair. Colorful streamers of dried entrails fluttered around the room and on the ceiling. Brightly painted skulls of all sizes were attached to the walls, and organs done up in pastels, filled with helium, were tied to the backs of chairs. Tables and chairs were made of bones and preserved flesh of past ponies. Dash cringed upon seeing the centerpiece of the table nearest to her, the heads of 4 foals. Their eyes closed as if they were sleeping, or wearing party hats made from their own skin. With a thrill of terror, Dash recognized one of them as Avaloon's classmate, Twist. Dash's eyes darted back and forth and fell upon the patchwork banner hanging from the rafters, made from several tan pony hides. The words, "Really, Mako, did you have to knock down the broom? Life is a party," were scrawled on it in blood red. Dash's attention was brought back to the party horn, unfurling and tickling her nose. She gaped at Pinkie Pie, who was standing right in front of her. The party pony was wearing a dress quirted from dried skin, emblazoned with cutie marks on her back. Fluttered 6 Pegasus wings, all different colors. As the Earth pony skipped in excitement Her necklace of severed unicorn horns clacked loudly together.
Like it? I made it myself.
Desperately, Dash pleaded with the smiling pony before. Please, Pinky, I'm sorry. If I did anything to you, I didn't mean it. Please let me go. I promise I won't tell anybody.
Oh, Dash, you didn't do anything. It's just that your number came up and, well, I don't make the rules. We can't turn back now.
Dash was tearing up. How could this be happening?
Aw, don't be sad, Dash. Look, this will cheer you up. I brought you a friend.
Seemingly out of nowhere, Pinky produced a brightly painted blue and yellow skull. It was about pony size, but it had a very defining feature, a beak. Dash gaped in shock. Is that... Hey, Dash. Hey, Dash.
Let's go hang out together. These ponies are lame-o dweebs.
Pinky mimicked.
I caught her right before she left town. Remember when I left the party for about 20 minutes? It wasn't enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that. But boy, am I glad. It was worth it for the flavor alone. Griffins taste like two animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville. How was I going to get another chance to try Griffin? I probably should have asked her where she came from so I could have gotten more. I forgot. I'll tell you. What though? She was quite a fighter. It lasted a long time, which was a lot of fun for me. I got this chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad she had such a meanie mouth. She said so much bad stuff. I did. Cut her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Rainbow Dash.
Dash didn't have anything to say. She just sobbed and writhed in her tight ball.
Well, said Pinky with an air of finality, that's enough grimacing. It's time to begin.
Putting down Gilda's skull, the pink pony gripped a scalpel in the cleft of her hoof and walked over to Dash's right flank. Without any flair, Pinky placed the blade an inch above Dash's key mark and then began a circular cut around it. Dash shouted in pain and tried desperately to pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed a curved skinning knife from the tray. Screwing up her face in concentration, she worked it under Dash's skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she cheerfully watched her flesh peel off. Then moved to the other side and repeated the process on Dash's left flank. Flank. Once she had finished, Pinky held up both key marks in front of her friend, started waving them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned like nothing she had felt before. Placing her ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus.
Hope you don't mind. I'm gonna wing it now.
She grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth, played with it for a few seconds, yanking it back so the sharp pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then, stretching the wing out, Pinky brought the blade, I can't speak English, brought the blade down, hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim. She tried to hit the mark again, but missed, and carved a huge slice into Dash's back.
Dash, you gotta stay still or I'll keep missing, scolded Pinkie Pie as her friend howled.
Pinky took another whack and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going to cut through the bone.
Guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else,
said Pinky matter-of-factly. tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade in the table. Through the haze of the pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of a metal box opening and closing.
Got it! Say, Dash, what do they call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I do with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it.
Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flesh for the last attempt, standing on her hind legs. She worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves, sliced it effortlessly through the bone and skin. The feelings of the jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a fluff on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up trying to fight and focused on choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing paused and Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by a sliver.
Hey, Dash,
Pinky piped up.
think fast.
Suddenly, Pinky yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bone snapped, but the blue pony's skin held and tore away. The puller ripped a long strip of flesh all the way down to Dash's back, to her rump. Her body seized at the unexpected trauma. Her pelvis tensed up. Dash felt a warm release between her legs, and her loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she blacked out. Dash woke up with a gasp, and a stretch of her urine filled the mucus-caked nostrils. As her vision swam into focus, she saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing a large adrenaline needle from her chest. Stomping her hooves, frustrated, Pinkie lashed out at her helpless victim.
Didn't any pony teach you manners?
It's very rude when somebody invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring. I think I'll take a nap."
You think I like always doing this by myself? Told you how excited I was when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend be here with me while I worked, but no. Gotta be inconsiderate, you know. I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had fools stand up better than you do. Do I have to baby you, huh? Is that how you want me to remember you? As a baby?
As Pinkie stopped to catch her breath, Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony, her sides were on fire, and there was an intense pain in one of her legs. As she blinked again, she saw Pinkie pop something red into her mouth, and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinkie quickly gulped the morsel down.
What?
Pinkie asked.
Oh, this.
She held up another piece.
Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a small sample. Got it from your leg.
You're not bad. Want to try some? Without waiting for a response, Pinkie shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinkie frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh.
If you didn't want it, you could have said no.
She contemplated the discarded snotty morsel, and then gulped it up.
It's not like you haven't had my cupcakes before.
Swallowing, Pinkie turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on the top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic again. Picking up the can, Pinkie walked over to Dash's left, holding some tongs in her mouth. Pinkie carefully picked up the nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front leg and hoof. Then she grabbed the hammer and took careful aim. "No, Pinkie!" Dash screamed. "No, no!" The hammer came down. The nail punctured Dash's skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinkie tried to line up another nail, but couldn't find her aim. On a frustrated grunt. "Ugh! Ugh!" When Pinkie brought the hammer back to back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begged, "Please stop! Please stop!" Pinkie rolled her eyes. Putting down the hammer and tog, she walked back in the front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much, but she had life parasite shoved down her throat. Pinkie thought for a minute what to do next. She had a sudden spark of inspiration. Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinkie laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs. Bringing the can with her, picking up her tools, Dash drove a searing hot spike of metal directly in the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinkie moved around and drove the second nail into her other hoof. Pinkie went back to her cart and located an enormous battery controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tracked copper wires between the terminals and nails driven into Dash's hooves. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped taut. Dash's hips thrust skyward, her eyes rolled back, and she let out a deep throat-shredding cry. Pinkie giggled, and danced in place. She reached down and turned up the juice. Dash convulsively and uncontrollably, her bladder emptied once more. After about 5 minutes, Pinkie shut off the power. Wisps of steam rose from the singed fur around Dash's it's called hide, around Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cut flesh and burnt enamel. Pinkie rotated Dash upright again and tried to snap the drooling, delirious pony back to attention. Dash! 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 Rainbow Dash! Wake up! And managed to give a Medosium a weak acknowledgement. Pinkie studied her handiwork and reached out in the medicine bag and produced a large syringe. All right, time for the last round. Let's see. Dash focused blearily on the needle, which Pinkie took as a question of what it was. This is a little something to take the pain away, Pinkie informed Dash as she walked around to her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinkie jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine, moving in front of her friend again, and leaned down and elaborated. In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage, and you'll be able to stay awake and watch the harvest. Dash stared and started to cry again. Pinkie? Yeah? I want to go home. Yeah, I can see you wanting to do that, replied the pretty pony. Sometimes I just want to give up and say, I'm done with this mess. And go to bed, but you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life. Dash hung her head and cried. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinkie approached with the scalpel, glancing at Dash and smiling. Pinkie made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up Dash's body, Pinkie made a similar inclusion under her ribs. Finally, Pinkie made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two. Looks like I got my eye on you, Dash, Pinkie giggled. One of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinkie carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac and grabbed her large intestines. As she separated one organ from the rest of the digestive tract, she pulled out the new cavity. Pinkie grew jovial and laughing as she gutted her friend. Pinkie began to make jokes. Dash growing weaker from this new source of blood loss, trying desperately to shut out the macabre comedy act.
at me. I'm rarity. Pinkie laughed, slinging an utensil tube around her neck, sending blood in all directions. Isn't my new scarf so pretty? Reaching back inside, she sliced the smaller intestine off from the bowl, squeezing out the excess. Experiment. Pinkie filled the slimy organ with her teeth and dragged it back and forth. Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash. Except when you're dead. Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinkie dived back into the blue honey's goats, ramping up her routine. Aw, don't go yet, Dash. Pinkie started pulling out the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal. I know you can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidding with you. I guess you really gotta learn to liver it up. Boy, these jokes are getting bladder. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them. Pinkie placed and discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last ones for a bit longer. Ooh, bagpipes, she said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus, I don't know what that is, in her mouth and stomach in her armpit. She squeezed and part of the acid hit her. Ew. Oh, hey, here's your cupcake, Dash. Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinkie, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time. Her heart pounding, warm blood flowed out of the wound in her chest. Great spurts. It wouldn't be long now. Pinkie brought Dash around onto her back again and straddled the blue pony's chest, scalpel at the ready. Let's see. Oh, no. See, where was it? You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here. Well, I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a little slower. Oh well, it was really nice knowing you, Dash. I'm gonna add in this extra bit of dialogue. I always loved you.
The blade stuck into the blue throat and worked its way up to Dash's chin. Coming back now, and Pinkie's scalpel then circled Dash's neck, and the last thing Rainbow Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, and the metal of the blade scraping her teeth. Then she was gone. Pinkie stared into the mirror. She had done a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked, and Dash winked back. Pinkie smiled, but still, she was sad that her friend was now gone. Dash had only lasted 50 minutes, not nearly as long as Pinkie had wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging in the center of the room. The last of her friend's fluids draining into a pan. Yep, no more Rainbow Dash. She looked. Pinkie cocked her head. She began to make notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage to the corpse. In fact, Pinkie said amused, I think an idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing, and she had all the pieces. She had to do was put them back together. Yeah, she just had to get some stuffing, and bingo, she'd have Rainbow Dash forever. In fact, thought Pinkie, that's what she'd do for all her best friends. When their numbers came up, she was so excited. Yeah, but what about Twilight? She's an alicorn. She skipped right over, and what about Rarity, too? Skipped right over to the body with her Skinner. To get started, Cupcakes could wait. Pinkie had a friend to make. That was Cupcakes. Yeah. Read at your own risk, people.